Now let's take a look at these earthquake patterns. The last, when he first started talking about the earthquakes, it was May 26th, and this was that mega quake that hit Peru, the 8.0. And then from that point on, he didn't start talking about the earthquakes, you'll see, up until June 15th. Up until June 15th. So we'll start all the way down here. Alright, on this earthquake, this is actually the true beginning of the start, because it was a 4.6, and that's the one that shook the Temple Mount, which happened exactly on May 15th. So that was the beginning of talking about that and God's wrath. And then on the 21st, starting the 21st, is when I seen that he was going to start talking about the floods, the tornadoes, the volcanic eruptions, and the plagues, because it's all representing 8 years ago, when the way that Harold Camping thought it was going to be. This is how they are actually playing it out now for that 5-month period that goes into October 21st. So they did start talking about the same thing that Harold Camping believed was going to happen for the 5-month period from May 21st, 2011 to October 21st, 2011. So because they have 8 years notice ahead of time, that's why he's playing the modern day Harold Camping right now, because he's an apocalyptic evangelist. But he's just acting. Harold Camping wasn't. So then here's the beginning. The massive fires burning in Israel. And then I said he would start talking about meteorites, and that's what he started to talk about. Lightning from heaven, hail, fire, massive eruptions, and earthquakes. And then earthquakes will start getting more vicious. So then here's the Peru 8.0 a month ago, and then it continues on. This is all right after May 21st for the next 10 days. I said him specifically, Mr. Mouthpiece Paul Begley, would talk about UFOs invading us. All these things would happen within those 10 days. Lightning coming from heaven. But see, no more about the earthquakes, because it was more about the weather. When I said that they would take over, dominate the news with the weather, that's the weather that I'm talking about. The earthquakes is more like a disaster, or the damn land splits open. The weather is in the sky, the clouds, the rain, the thunder, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, that kind of weather, lightning. So he stopped talking about the from that point on, nothing about any earthquakes. Just keeps going. Fires, but no earthquakes. Nothing. And then here comes the 2 witnesses getting attacked. Still nothing about, well, here you go. 6.5 quake shakes Chile. And then that's the beginning of the tsunami scare, because the earthquakes are going to come first, and then the tsunami scares are going to come after that. And because this earthquake started over in New Zealand, because it started right there in New Zealand on, let's see, June 15th, right?
The Kermadec Islands of New Zealand, seismologists are telling us it's just happened 11 minutes ago. There is a tsunami alert in effect. I repeat, there is a tsunami warning in effect. Anticipate a tsunami headed, well.
All right, so that was June 15th. Because it started in New Zealand, because the shootings from the churches and everything started in New Zealand, that's why I went with it's going to continue from east to west. Whatever it is, it's going to continue, obviously. But see, that's on a flat earth map, though. New Zealand is all the way to the end on the right side. California is all the way to the left side. So, but a globe, you can't, where does the east start then? If it's a globe, where does the east start? Where does the west end? So that's why I said from this point on, June 15th, he's going to not stop talking about earthquakes, and his entire channel will start showing earthquakes after earthquakes after earthquakes, and it will end in California. So this is June 17th.
He vaguely keeps talking about these earthquakes. Or no, he's not going to keep. No, I'm sorry. He's going to keep talking about these earthquakes because this is the next phase. Starting from east to west. Starting on March 15th, 2019, when that New Zealand church got hit by the white supremacist guy that shot up. From that point on, it was, what's going to be the next event? Going into some more churches? Yeah, I think so. And then all these churches and the burnings and the bombings and the shootings again, and the whole process happens. Because on June 15th, over in New Zealand, from east to west is how this pattern is going. He's going to keep talking about these earthquakes.
Guys, we've had a powerful earthquake in Canada, in Bella Bella, Canada. That's right over there by Vancouver Island, right at the top of the Cascadia subduction zone, which we've been...
So from June 15th, which is right here, New Zealand, the next theme, east to west. From that point on, here comes a 6.5 quake, and then along with the tsunami warnings. Blood moons, plane crashes, falling from the sky. And here comes another earthquake, hits off the coast of Oregon. And then here comes another one, mega quake shakes Indonesia. And then a tsunami hits. So the tsunamis are coming. And explosions, volcanic eruptions still. Some more explosions. A heat wave. Asteroids are going to hit. Solar eclipse. Airplanes flying in the drop from the skies again. And then here goes now the mega quake 6.2 in Canada. So then here's the next one, 6.6.
And 11 miles east of and northeast.
She's telling you to keep your mouth shut.
Cindy's driving, but Sister Heidi's back here with me. We're on our way.
So the 4th of July.
Canada. There's a massive.
Vaguely keeps talking about these earthquakes. Well, no, he's not going to keep. No, I'm sorry. He's going to keep talking about these earthquakes because this is the next phase. Starting from east to west.
We have breaking news, of course, coming out of California. Many of you already know last night.
6 hours ago.
A powerful, Rock, can you hear me well enough? A powerful earthquake, mega 7.1, just rattled Southern California. A massive quake, 11 times stronger than the quake that hit on July 4th. So
11
again,
times stronger.
July 5th earthquake.
Now, look, on his channel, right, he can talk about anything that the elite tell him to talk about. He's given the scripts for the earthquakes because this is the phase from east to west. So he could have any topic at all. However, when you have two or more, and it goes for both, it goes for when you have two or more elite mouthpieces that collaborate on the same story, then that's the agenda that they want you to know. When there's two or more witnesses that can verify another person is true, then it's the same thing where that person that's true can also witness to another person that a other third person is true, and then that other third person can witness with the first third person to verify that the third person is true. So that also is a way that two witnesses, where there's two or more, it's diverse. So when it comes to the elite mouthpieces, when you have him and this other guy.
Hey guys, Dabu 7. We have had a massive earthquake strike in California, the same place as last time. They're saying a 6.9 has struck ground level. Well, pretty much ground level. The depth, at least over here on Global Incident Map, has it at a negative 0.9. So this is usually right around ground level. You can see a 5 and a 4.7 right around the same time frame. A very shallow quake coming in at this weapons testing range.
From east to west, which started March 15th with the shootings in the church, and it was the church theme for the next 3 months.
June 27th.
All the way from east.
June 27th. In the title is New Zealand equals east to west equals California. The theme is the 7th, July 2nd, New Zealand, also coming from east to west, New Zealand eclipse, and then a 7.2 earthquake. So it's from New Zealand to Cali, and back to New Zealand. It's each theme bounces back. It starts. Okay, listen. The shootings in the churches started in New Zealand. That started to dominate the news for the next 3 months. And then the last shooting that dominated the news was in Poway, and it was over there in California. And then here comes the earthquakes. It started June 15th over with Paul Begley again, the mouthpiece from New Zealand, and then with the 7.2, and then coming over now to California.
Guess what? To the west. The last time I heard about a church shooting was April 27th over in Poway, San Diego, California, which is, by the way, it's on the west. And the theme started from the east, which was New Zealand, the shooting at Christ Church.
Started talking about on June 15th.
I'm Stephen Benoon. You're watching Israeli News
Two or
Live.
more.
And listen, I want to thank Sister Tracy for sending me a message here just moments ago. Another earthquake near Los Angeles, 7.1 earthquake. Just yesterday there was a 6.4. Generally when these earthquakes happen, the tremors end up getting smaller, but now we got to go in just the opposite direction.
What a
going
surprise.
higher.
Oh, I could have never guessed.
6.4 to a 7.1, 11 miles from Ridgecrest.
It's 11 miles from Ridgecrest. It's 11 times more devastating than the 6 point, whatever was just there the day before. So they love throwing the number 11 in there.
Specifically in the Ridgecrest area, this area is seeing different types of damage from the earthquakes that have struck. But all in all, they're saying that this isn't over, that this swarm continues to pop
I'm saying
off
the same
with
thing.
hundreds of all. They're saying that this isn't over, that this swarm continues to pop off with hundreds of quakes. They're all very shallow. As you can see here, we covered this for hours on a...
It's even better when there's two or more. Sorry. mouthpieces, right? And then it's even better when CBS, ABC, NBC, and all those, Fox News, CNN, it's even better when they start talking about it too, because that truly is what they want the entire world to start focusing on now. So here's Southern California braces for more aftershocks. So they're expecting for this thing to continue on.
Breaking overnight, Southern California braces for more aftershocks after another powerful earthquake rocks the area. The magnitude 7.1 quake was felt from Los Angeles all the way to Nevada.
So he's going to show you inside of a store. But, you know, numbers aren't just accidentally put anywhere. 12, like the tribes. That 30-day period, that decree, that 40-day testing period. So, all right, now look. You tell me what you think. I'll pause it for a minute. But I want you to see, if you're looking at any kind of biblical signs, how they play the Bible out, just think about what this next scene would mean.
The violent quake littered the aisles. Take a look on the other side over here. You can see all these wine bottles strewn all over the floor. It
Alright, so wine bottles.
scenes like this that are playing out throughout the region.
A lot of wine came down. You could see it's all broken bottles. And we could just...
The aisles. Take a look on the other side over here. You can see all these wine bottles strewn all over the floor. Here you can see all these wine bottles strewn all over the floor. It's scenes like this that are playing out throughout the region.
A lot of wine came down. You could see it's all broken bottles. And we could just keep going all over the store.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Convenience store owner Tony Abdul-Latif had just finished cleaning up.
So, alright, well, I'll tell you what I think it means. It's referring to, you know, like the wine press being trampled down. And as you can see, the first thing you see here is the foot from the bottles. So it's like God is trampling down the wine press with the grapes and everything out to the girdles, bride, or I forget what that saying is, but something like that part in the Bible.
The California earthquake that's
March
going to drop
20th.
California into the ocean, all within that week's period of time.
And then, so because the earthquakes come first, and then the earthquakes is what is going to be one of the reasons why they're going to say that it caused the tsunami. So after the earthquakes.
I mean, tsunamis. That's going to wipe out New York, the coastline, East Coast, New York, the coastline, East Coast.
Now, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people already heard that there's going to be tsunamis that is going to hit New York, because they made the movie about it, 2012. That's just not a secret, but it means more when you can kind of pinpoint around about when it's going to start happening. So, because Mr. Paul Begley is one of the top mouthpieces for the elite, and where there's two or more, they're all saying what I've already felt like they're going to say before they start saying it, and the patterns that they're going with. So this is an obvious east to west, and the earthquake that's going to sink California. It just didn't happen on May 18th, 2019, till the sky opens up. Because I think Steve came out with a video saying something about the fading sky, which means, you know, he has an understanding of what's going. He has an understanding that the sky is going to, whatever we're seeing up there now is going to fade away. So it's the same word. The sky opens up. New Jerusalem opens up because it's our original sky. That's why I'm saying opens up. This thing up here now, well, yeah, it'll fade away because they'll push the fade button, like, you know how you can just up or down a little bit. So they're going to fade the sky off. Now, I would push this date another 5 months. So it would only be either that period of time or 5 months later, because now I'm understanding. Look, I always did understand this. May 21st, 2011, up until October 21st, 2011. At the end, the seal was opened up, and 144,000 were conceived for that 5-month period, and that's why it's a 7 full year experiment, and because it's a continuance. So you're going to continue not from May 21st, 2011, because the second seal was opened up at the end of the 5-month period, and that 5-month period was between May 21st, 2011 and October 21st. So that 5 months is prolonged because the 144,000 are being conceived, and that second seal opens up, and then that's the beginning of the sixth trumpet sounding, and the sixth seal is getting ready to open up, and that first woe was the beginning, the ending of October 21st, 2011, and then the beginning of the 22nd. So for the next 7 full years, that's as far as I can go with the way I believe things are now, that we have to wait until October 21st for things to change the way that I feel like they're going to. It's the same feeling I get when I'm following these mouthpieces and telling you guys what they're going to do before it. And the proof is in my videos. I've gone back to so many of them, proven that I said it beforehand, not just telling you I said it or I knew it. Now there's actual proof. You guys know it. So these are the things I'm seeing happening. I'm just looking out for everybody. I don't want anybody to be deceived. I want you to actually enjoy what's getting ready to happen here, because, you're going to regret not being able to enjoy the fear that you had to go through instead of just conquering the fear that you don't even have to go through now. That's what I want you guys to do, is just enjoy what's getting ready to take place. Now, here's how I know that this is worth, like, it's gonna start dominating the news. All right, it's like back when the first shooting happened in Christ Church. Like, what's gonna happen next, huh? What, going into some more churches? Of course. Now the algorithm is showing another earthquake, and now it's Fox News as another witness. So look, you can believe it if you want to, because so many people on the internet are saying that they were there and they felt it, and well, I would just have to feel it and see it, because these people are acting. And but just remember this. Remember that I had an interview with the devil, and literally and spiritually. And I understand what the devil's trying to do. And it makes total sense what he's trying to do. And you can't be mad at him. If you decide to believe the fear that's going on here, and because maybe one of the reasons is you don't want to be insensitive to these stories, because people could be dying for real and you're like joking at it. But God did tell me to Job 5:20 to it in these last days. So it's all making sense that everybody's still acting, and until my ground splits open, well, then I'll just continue to think that it's not happening the way that they're saying it's happening.
Is on the scene. He's been in the earthquake zone since yesterday's quake. Jeff, what did you see? What are you feeling?
What did you see?
We were at dinner.
What did you feel
today? And all of a sudden, it just.
So obviously, you're going to get an eyewitness who is the newscaster, and he's going to tell you this story.
It started shaking violently. We were inside a restaurant, and it seriously felt like the walls were about to come down. People were screaming, sort of climbing up. It felt like the walls were about to come down. People felt like the walls were about to come down. Felt like the walls were about to come down. People were screaming, sort of climbing over each other to get out because they were active.
And when my wife tells me something, like earthquakes are happening in California, that means, because she doesn't pay attention to any of this YouTube stuff, but that means that with her algorithm, it's showing up in her front story also. So that's when I know it's really, when it gets her attention. And when my mom let me know that Trump was interrupting her soap operas, just like Obama was interrupting my sports. So when it interrupts her soap operas and she calls me and tells me, then you know it's exactly what they want the entire world to fear. So back on March 20th, this is it's coming into play right now. Is this or is this not what it looks like is getting ready to happen? Because the earthquakes aren't stopping. They're only escalating in the Richter scale. Whoever frickin' Richter is. His name's probably James Richter. I'm willing to bet he's part of the Fitz James family.
So this is heading to the west.
Continually.
By the name and the title.
This is before the 7.1.
Western United States. From east to west. Because I go by Mr. Mouthpiece, right? At this time, it's Paul Begley. The 3-month period from March 15th with the New Zealand from east to west, the church theme of the shooting. What's going to happen next? Going to some more church? Yeah, I think so. It's a bombings. Yep. ISIS is going to claim responsibility. Yep, that's what's going to happen over in Sri Lanka, and then it happened at that same exact date and the exact theme of what happened, and then the Poway was the same exact date on the 27th. It was the white guy that was the white supremacist, and he did go into the.
This is strictly truth, facts,
his name was John, by
and
the way.
this
John
is what happened.
Steve over there in Michigan. So it's like everything ties in.
I warn you, before I answer in detail, that publishing my answers will bring down an avalanche of ridicule on your head for bringing up the question.
I'll take the responsibility. Proceed.
Well, I may as well here admit that you have stumbled onto the major secret of how I convert people to the habit of drifting.
That is a startling admission. Go ahead with your confession, and stick strictly to this subject of flattery. No more side remarks and no more facetiousness for the present. Tell me all about your use of flattery in gaining control over people.
Flattery is a bait of incomparable value to all who wish to gain control over others. It has powerful pulling qualities because it operates through two of the most common human weaknesses, vanity and egotism.
Since you claim the church's help instead of hindering your cause, tell me what would give you cause to worry.
My only worry is that someday a real thinker may appear on Earth.
What would happen if a thinker did appear?
You ask me what would happen. I'll tell you what would happen. People would learn the greatest of all truths, that the time they spend in fearing something would, if reversed, give them all they want in the material world and save them from me after death. Isn't that worth thinking about?
What is keeping such a thinker from appearing in the world?
Fear of criticism. It may interest you to know that the fear of criticism is the only effective weapon I have with which to whip you. If you were not afraid to publish this confession after you wring it from me, I would lose my earthly kingdom.
And if I did surprise you and publish it, how long would it be until you lost your kingdom?
Just long enough for one generation of children to grow into understanding. You cannot take the adults from me. I have them too securely sewed up. But if you published this confession, it would be sufficient to keep me from gaining control of the yet unborn and those who have not yet reached the age of reason. You wouldn't dare publish what I have told you about the religious leaders. They would crucify you.
I thought the savage practice of crucifixion went out of style 2,000 years ago.
I don't mean crucifixion on a cross. I mean social and financial crucifixion. Your income would be shut off. You would become a social outcast. Religious leaders and their followers alike would treat you with scorn.
Suppose I should choose to throw in my lot with the select few who make a pretense of using their own minds rather than fear the masses who do not. The masses of whom you claim 98%.
If you have courage enough to do this, you will crimp my style.
Why do you lay claim to no scientist, Don't you like scientists?
Oh, yes. I like all people well enough. But true scientists are out of my reach.
Why?
Because they think for themselves and spend their time studying natural laws. They deal with cause and effect. They deal with facts wherever they find them. But do not make the mistake of believing scientists have no religion. They have a very definite religion.
What is their religion?
The religion of truth. The religion of natural law. If the world ever produces an accurate thinker with ability to fathom the deeply buried secret of life and death, the religion of truth, the religion of natural law. If the world ever produces an accurate thinker with ability to fathom the deeply buried secret of life and death, you can be sure that science will be responsible for the catastrophe.
Catastrophe to whom?
To me, of course.
Let's get back to the subject of hypnotic rhythm. I want to know more about it. Is it something like the principle through which people can hypnotize one another?
It is precisely the same thing. I have already told you so. Why do you repeat your questions?
That is an old worldly custom of mine, Your Majesty. For your enlightenment, I will tell you, I am forcing you to repeat many of your statements for the sake of emphasis. I'm also trying to see if I can catch you in a lie. Don't dodge the issue. Get back to hypnotic rhythm and tell me all you know about it. Am I a victim of it?
Not now, but you barely missed falling into my web. You drifted toward the whirlpool of hypnotic rhythm until you discovered how to force me into making this confession. Then I lost control of you.
How interesting. You are not trying to recapture me through flattery, are you?
That would be the best bribe I could offer you. It is the bribe I used on you effectively before you got the upper hand of me.
With what did you flatter me?
With many things. Chief among them sex and the desire for self-expression.
What effect did your bribes have on me?
They caused you to neglect your major purpose in life and started you to drifting.
Was that all you did to me through your bribes?
That was plenty.
But I am back on the track and out of your reach now, am I not?
Yes, you are temporarily out of my reach because you are not drifting.
What broke your spell over me and released me from the habit of drifting?
My answer may humiliate you. Do you want to hear it?
Go ahead and give it to me, Your Majesty. I wish to learn how much truth I can stand.
When you found a great love in the woman of your choice, I lost my grip on you.
So, wish to learn how much truth I can stand.
When you found a great love in the woman of your choice, I lost my grip on you.
So, you are going to accuse me of hiding behind a woman's skirts, are you?
No, not hiding. I wouldn't put it that way. I would say you have learned how to give yourself a solid background with the embellishment of a woman's mind.
The woman's skirt has nothing to do with it, then?
No, but her brain does. When you and your wife began to combine your two brains through your habit of masterminding every day, you stumbled upon the secret power with which you forced me